show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings and, of course, to get our $1 course on how to make more than 6 figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at HiveMindCRM.io.
I like the way you said this earlier. We kind of talked about this earlier, but you didn't say it. But what is, you asked everybody in the group, what's the most powerful thing out there? And everybody's like money, time, and all this stuff. And then here comes Anthony, and it's the power of connection. And I was like, man, we need to talk about this again because it was such profound. Because that's the hive mind. The hive mind is harnessing the power of connection. You can't put money, you can't force it with money, you can't force it with time. It's the power of connection. So what was the story, what was the deal that Rose did?
Yeah, she said, hey, I have a buyer that wants a certain type of piece of land in a certain area in the San Antonio market, like the outskirts. And I was like, I don't have anybody. And then when I hung up, I was like, I think I should try somebody that plays over there in that area. And I didn't even give it a second thought. I was like, if I can make the connection and something happens amazing, cool. So I text Ryan. I was like, hey, do you have this property? He's like, I don't know. Probably not. Let me text somebody real quick. And he's like, hey, I found it. I said, oh, really? Yeah, cool. Hey, if we put this deal together, there's $10,000 on the table, like in 3 text messages. I was like, that's cool. That's $10,000 in 3 text messages. So $1 per hour, that's obnoxious. And I didn't expect nothing. Maybe he never called me back. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he never put a deal together. Whatevs. I just did my outreach. And he calls back. He said, hey, we have the property. We can make the connection. There's 10 G's. I was like, okay, but there's 3 of us, right? We're not going to break up 10 G's 3 ways. I was like, can we do one more $5,000 note? Is there a different way to repay the $5,000? And Ryan's like, why don't you just ask the buyer to put down an additional $5,000 so you can skip the note, you can skip the creative. I was like, that's an amazing idea, as simple as it was. So I called Rose back and I was like, hey, can he pay $5 extra down? He called me back, yeah, he's good. I text Ryan, he's like, okay, cool, all right, done. He's like, have your person call my person so we can go back to making some money. All right, goodbye. And then they call me, I got a check for you. I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? This was like in a span of like 7 to 10 days or less. It was like very random. A handful of text messages, like 1 phone call or 2 phone calls, and then somebody sent me a pretty cool check. I was like, what the heck? All right, this is a good game. Power of connection, speed of connection.
Yeah. And it's crazy as it sounds. That's not the first time that happened. I think we had this crazy story come out. I think it was like less than 6 months into the hive mind. Mike Novak, he gets he has a deal in Wisconsin, and he finds a buyer for it. And the buyer's like, you have to talk to my agent. I'm not going to let you do the deal unless you talk to my agent. So he ends up talking to the agent. Agent's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Kind of like, what else do you do? Where else are you buying land? And Mike Novak buys land in like 15, 20 different states. So he's like kind of telling him. So the agent's doing his thing, networking and working with a legit buyer and seller that buys and sells a lot of lots. And the agent's like, hey, are you Mike from HiveMind? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm Louie from HiveMind too.
Can I see your credentials?
Yeah, they're both from HiveMind.
They were cross-verifying each other. Give me your ID. You give me your ID. You give me your ID. Like, hey, wait a minute. We work for the same company. That's funny, man.
Uh-huh. It's crazy. And like, as crazy as that seems, like I said, we weren't like nowhere we had the numbers that we do now, and connections are crossing across 1,000 miles in a ridiculous way like that in 6 months.
Oh man, I think this always points me back to the simple fact that, like, I know there's other people doing bigger numbers and cooler deals, and they wear the right shade of pants, and they like have the right amount of high water versus leather shoes. But over here in Texas, meanwhile in Texas, I just love the people that we're already doing deals with.
I forgot about the other one, Matt Rogers. So Matt Rogers comes in. He's a investor out of LA. He's a virtual land investor. He invests in Florida. So he's like, I want to try HiveMind. I want to learn how to text. So he's like, Daniel, teach me how to text. I hate technology. I hate all this stuff. Just teach me how to text. I'll figure the rest out. I've been doing a bunch of deals. I'll figure it out. So I teach him how to do a text. He gets a contract in 4 days. What does he do? Takes it to the HiveMind. Hey, who's in Florida that can help me dispo this lot?
Oh, he actually used the system.
He used the system and and the network of the HiveMind to do the deal. Who's he get a hold of? DeAndre Anderson. What? So DeAndre Anderson has a buyer. They close the deal out. They both make $7,000 in 21 days. And it's just a software.
No. He made 21,000 in 7 minutes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because he already knew where to place it, where to disposition that lead.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's knowing where to put it, putting your right energy in the right places. That way, you're actually not using all the resources of your time. And if you can find a way to do that infinitely, what's that per hour? All right. So the power of connection.
Well, we have a business model that's based on the power of connection, and I wonder if people see that. Like, I don't know if people see that as currency. So let's make it like into a more practical scenario or a more practical imagining that can say, okay, now I understand how wealth or energy or electricity is distributed. So today I looked at a property with Evan Price, and it's several hundred acres, like 500-600 acres south of San Antonio, and it's by a power station. So whenever I see land surrounding a power station, that tells me that that power station is the source of energy, the source of capital. It's an abundant resource engine that exists inside of that environment. So if you can buy the land surrounding that energy resource, that energy resource should be able to power up the land around it at a very efficient cost, because there's no distance to deliver that electricity, right? You don't have to there's not a start and stopping point between the production and the distribution of the energy. So I really like this piece of land. I think that you can do a solar farm there, but if you did a neighborhood or a hotel or any type of entity that needs an infinite amount of energy or a very high amount of electricity,
I think it's either giving or taking too, because either something can give it or something can take it, but it's a way to distribute it.
Yes, it's a node. It's a node on a network. What's a human being that is redistributing information to other nodes, to other people?
It's just another form of connection. I mean, you think of like a Jenga block. You connect the blocks together, or the not Jenga block, but the Lego block. There you go. They interlock with each other and create anything, whatever your imagination desires.
So that power station, right, or we can do like a solar farm next to it, next to that big landmass, it could be the same thing as a human being, right? Whatever information or electricity or energy is passing through that individual node, the more energy that you can pass through that node, that person, the more people you can affect around you. So, like, let's say generating wealth. Let's say wealth is the currency, wealth is electricity. The more wealth that you hold and the faster rate that you can generate it, then the more abundantly you can distribute it to your network. Yeah.
I think it's crazy. I think we'll get, I haven't looked at the math in a while, but I know we'll give close to $100 grand back to our clients this year. $100,000 back to our clients. I think that's the crazy part. It's just like, I think I told you this too. It's like, what does it look like when we give $1 million back to our clients? Like, everybody's like, oh, I paid, I JV'd with this person and gave them $100K. Like, we're equally distributing the money income we bring in back to our clients in some way, shape, or form.
You mean like a redistribution of wealth?
Oh yeah, like a redistribution of wealth.
Don't say.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting because people participate in different ways. We have people that participate in the podcast. We have people that participate in the real estate transactions. We have people that participate in underwriting. They participate in their own way that they can, and then hopefully the system will distribute them in a JV deal, will distribute them in a affiliate payout. It may distribute them in a dinner covered by a client or covered by us. Maybe they get a flight paid. Maybe they get a cruise giveaway. You know, it was just something that's passed out and passed around just because something as good is happening around the hive mind.
Well, that's kind of the value prop. It's like, if you stand close enough to me, if you help me make this thing, then you too will reap the rewards. So what a person with a scarcity mindset first considers is, what is the reward? And what rate shall I receive it? Right? That's one mindset. And then another mindset says, I will continue to contribute to this machine or to this thing because I believe in it infinitely. And I'm just not going to stop. Right? That's a whole different type of mindset and personality. So that now, let's say there's a small group, like 350-ish, that is consistently contributing to the machine. And now the machine is overproducing. Currently overproducing, right? Whatever the revenue source is or whatever the metric is that makes people feel successful or happy or fulfilled. We're overproducing whatever that metric is. And now, let's go ahead and redistribute it to the contributors. And in business, that's called a dividend. It could be a share, shareholder, whatever. I don't even know what the correct technical terms are, but whatever is contributing to the growth of the entity should also receive back the growth of the entity. And I think that's what we're creating right now at scale without maybe some of the proper, I don't know, we hired the correct attorney, we got the MLM, right? So I think we have the correct infrastructure, but like I'm saying, maybe I don't have the right words for it, but if you contribute to the entity is benefiting, it's starting to overproduce resources. We want to redistribute some of those resources back into the community, and now it's happening at scale. It's fun, it looks cool. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, but I think the interesting part is that we want to continue to distribute and continue to grow, continue to participate, and continue to pay to participate. So who knows what we'll give up. So the power of connection is infinite. And a lot of people are like, oh, I might just steer out. I'm like, you missed it.
Aw, dang. What makes you say that?
You missed it.
What makes you say that?
You missed it.
It's funny.
And like I said, I feel bad for the people that leave and depart, but some people have to leave and depart before we get the people that actually do what we're supposed to do. To make the things that's supposed to make happen.
I feel like it's like trimming, right? Yeah. Let's say you have the most beautiful rose bushes inside of your $1 million house, and there's like these badass rose bushes. Like they're the most exquisite roses anywhere in that city, and there's not too many places to find them except other than by your front door, right? But also, like, they grow like weird leaves, they grow in odd directions, and right, they overproduce thorns, and so it's like you kind of have to like trim them to make them like perform at their most amazingness. And now it's the most beautiful they're ever going to be. It's like anatomically correct. It's correct according to green thumb theology. But you manicured it.
Those limbs that weren't producing, they were dead, dying, and going in the wrong direction.
And all that remains is the Leo Aguirres and the Louis Morales and the Alma Flores and the Evan Price, the Mike Novaks, the Yasirs, the John Alexanders, the DeAndres, the Jeffries, the Baskars. It's a very select few of the flowers, of the beautiful flowers that exist. I'll take it. That make our life look and feel amazing, and make us appreciate that beauty. And it's like, they're still here. We don't remember the part that had to get sheared off, or the part that had to be sacrificed or clipped off. So that's what I love. I love, like, it's not really about the sheer numbers. It's not about the rate of delivery that we're receiving back from somebody. It's like, this is the most beautiful version of what we've cultivated, and the people that are here, like, we love them to death.
So, if you're listening to this, participate. Find a way to participate. Find a way to bring your skill, knowledge, information, time. Maybe it's capital. Maybe it's your network. Maybe it's... who knows, man? So many ways to contribute. So many ways. But it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Oh, Kenny, we're paying $1,000 a lot dispo. Kenny, he's gonna have a buyer that's gonna buy every lot we have in this one area. We have 90 lots. I hope he makes 90 grand.
We shall see.
We shall see. But it's interesting, man. Anybody else say to any buyers? Not yet.
Not one person has stood up and said that.
Not one person. Only Kenny.
So that's what happened with the cash reveal a lot. My team sat on it for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I'm like, is it not ready? Like, I thought we had the green light. Maybe I need to like head it up. I guess everybody kind of knows what to do. Like, it swam around in my mind for several weeks. And I was like, you know what? You know who needs to sell it? Me. So I set up my marketing on Facebook Marketplace, blasted it out. Boom, 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 boom. Sold half of it in 2 days. Less than 2 days. Day and a half. And then it's kind of funny. Something that made me think about is that not everybody's playing at that level, and it's cool. It's funny and it's cool because I don't also feel like I'm at some like amazing upper echelon level. It's just weird to me that not everybody can move like that.
Well, I really want to bring this up too, because I think we watched the TikTok video and I showed you it too. Is that not everybody can be at your standard at your skill,
and they're not supposed to.
And that's okay. And you can't really hold them to the standard of you. So if you're like a solopreneur making your first hire, and your first hire isn't as good as you, that's perfectly fine and reasonable.
Okay, I remember the exact numbers.
Yeah.
It says that you only need to hire somebody that's at 70% as good as you. And then if that's a true 70%er, then you only have to provide 30% of the effort. And then if you hire another 70%er, now there's 140% of you, and that allows you to remove yourself from the equation entirely.
And you're still overproducing.
And that's the freedom.
And it was a female entrepreneur that said that, and I thought that was such a great nugget, because not everybody should outperform as much as you. Like, no one has the same drive as I do as what I do. If I put you in my position and force you to try and produce, you wouldn't fucking do shit. But if I went in your position and tried to force to produce, I wouldn't do as good as you either. So it's finding your superpower and finding where your best fit is and producing in that way. And then once you're at that point to scale and scale out, find two people that are 70% of you. That way you're overproducing and you can Prince Devilite. That was such a good nugget, man. Every time I like TikTok because, like, I'm not on dancing TikTok to sell my products.
I do.
I'm on the business side of TikTok.
I don't know what your TikTok's doing, but mine's shaking some nalga.
But like I said, it's crazy. As crazy as it seems, but I don't know if you heard, but TikTok just got confirmed to be a search engine.
Hey, all I know is that I'm not going to be shaking my ass to sell no CRM.
Oh man, that's crazy. No, but TikTok is now a certified search engine. So imagine the possibilities. So as soon as I saw that, Prince Donald posted that TikTok's officially a search engine. You know, the first thing I did, I said to my team, hey, make sure our bios and our messages under our videos are direct to what the video stands for, because if people are searching for that content, I want them to find it.
Start indexing shit.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So, and the indexing, by indexing it, if everybody's curious how much HiveMind has been indexing, search hashtag Hive with us on a select platform and see what it says.
Can I tell them?
Oh yeah, you can tell them.
So I remember trying to post Hive with us, hashtag Hive with us, fewer than 100, posts. And then it said like fewer than 1,000 posts, like on Instagram, I think I remember the most. And today it says greater than 5,000 posts. I'm like, who in the hell hashtag Hive with us 5,000 plus times? Like, that's pretty cool.
How does that happen? Like,
it happened quick. It's kind of like, wait a minute, that's not right.
But who did it? I did it.
5,000 times.
You produce enough content. You create your own little hashtags. So now, if somebody searched Hive with us, hashtag Hive with us, now there's a trail. We left a trail for 2 years. We left it on breadcrumbs that anybody can find us.
Okay, all right. You want to get heavy?
All right, let's get heavy.
So I got a continuing marketing background. I have a marketer's brain. Something's really, really wrong with me. So when I see other companies and other businesses that are trying to do marketing, I'm like, man, they understand it at such a base elementary level. It's kind of funny. It's kind of cute. It's cool. I love it. I'm not hating on anybody. If you're trying to do marketing, you're already like my fan. I'm your best #1 fan favorite.
Because we get it.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to do, and I love you for it. I'm not trying to clown. What I'm saying is that if you think about something in terms of, let's say, SEO, the only reason people that can imagine SEO as a viable strategy is because they already have a website. And now your website is based on keywords and videos, right? And also words now, right? Verbal words that are on your videos that are listed on your website, so that the spider bots that work for Google and everybody else recognize that you're an authority in a particular field because you mention certain topics, words, and other things more than other individuals. Therefore, you're ranking for that field. But one thing people are not considering is that your life is also a website. Your online personality is also a site. So whatever you talk about online, whatever you do online, however you brand yourself online, is all becoming organic search traffic for yourself. So every time you do an activity, you mention something, you talk about something, you participate in a podcast, you go to an event, you check in, all that is becoming part of your personal SEO. It has nothing to do with your business or your website.
Yep.
And that's marketing at the grandest scale.
So, I had lunch with Ruben Mata last week. And Ruben Mata, we did an episode with him like 2-3 months ago. And he's like, I need to do another podcast with you. And I'm like, oh, why? And like, we can bring back guests again. I'm like, oh, when do you want to do it? He's like, I want to do another podcast with you because you guys continue to use my content and push it out there over and over again. And that helps my brand. Woo! So he appreciates the exchange of value that we provided to him by him hopping on our podcast, because we use that that data and that SEO and that content.
Help them respin it.
And help them respin it to reach more people. And it just sits there over and over again.
Man, hilarious, dude. I love how somebody would be like, hey, if I come on your podcast, I need to receive something for my time or my energy, like, because I'm sharing my ever so finite, limited time with you. I want compensation. And then you take a Ruben Mata, and he's just chill, laughing, funny, cool-ass podcast. And he's like, oh, shit, these guys spun my content. I see the value in that. Hey, can we get some more of that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I do it again?
Now he wants to share his information with us again. He wants to share his time with us again, so that we can further benefit each other. That's not even the reason, right? But he's like, hey, last time I gave these guys something, they way massively over compensated me for my time, and now I want to give them more of my time.
Because I know they'll appreciate it and do what they will with it.
And we're about to splice it up and give it back 800 times at our expense, because we know that it's mutually beneficial. That's cool, man. I really love that. Like I said, like, oh man, the friends that we already have are out of this freaking world. Why do we deserve this?
So for everybody out there that wants to build a brand and authority, me and Anthony tell you to do a podcast. And like I said, we're doing this podcast. We're driving right now. We're driving right now again. And like I said, we could have been listening to music, or we could have been talking and wasting this time. But now what we're doing is
Mamma mia.
we're recording it, and now it's evergreen. It's evergreen. And if you find value from it, 10,000 other people can find value from it. And it's there forever. So like a lot of the gurus, they talk about, and I made a joke about it recently too. I was like, I'm Googleable. And it's not that I'm capping. It's just I've done so much content online that I produced and released myself that I'm Googleable.
It's funny. Sometimes Daniel sees things that I don't see, right? I think I'm like a marketing Jesus. And then Daniel would tell me something, and I'm like, yeah. He kind of don't know what he's talking about, but he's good. I get it. And then he's like, hey, next time somebody asks for your contact information or your phone number, he's like, just say Google me. And I'm like, that's kind of stupid. And then one time this customer was trying to sell us some land. He was trying to check me. He's like, how do I know who you are? How do I know who you are? And he was like, I was getting frustrated, so I like wanted to have like a bad retaliation in my response. And I was like, just Google me, bruh. And then the guy, like 3 weeks later, he goes to me. He never talked back. And I'm like, okay, he must have seen one of my YouTube videos. He must have like listened to something where he thought like, hey, I don't like this arrogant prick. I'm never gonna sell to him. But no, like 3 weeks later, he messages. He's like, here's the address to the land, here's everything. He's like, send me everything I asked him for 3 weeks ago. When he was good and ready, after he Googled me, after he saw my YouTube videos, I thought maybe that might hurt my credibility, like wholesaler, whatever. No, he saw it, he's like, okay, I like this guy, I trust this guy, he's good, boom, he sent me his stuff. So, yeah, it's like you gotta do SEO on yourself to build credibility and trust into the environment, and it'll pay dividends forever. So now, if I go back and I count backwards now, maybe 3, 4, 5 times, maybe 6 times, where people have like waited to talk to me or waited for something to go look me up online on Google, YouTube, wherever they might find me, and they decided that they want to go ahead and move forward and doing business with me. That's huge, bro. I don't have to tell you how cool I am or how honest or how trustworthy I am. Go look it up, and then you tell me what you think. And now they're coming back every single time.
And like it's not being cocky or facetious or whatever, capping or whatever. It's a literal benefit.
You can find out who I am online. I don't need to explain nothing.
That literal being Googleable interchanges into dollar signs. And you think it's going to stop tomorrow?
I keep seeing it every day now.
It's only going to get worse.
How do I know if you're a scammer? I don't know. Go look me up online. If you decide I'm a scammer, never call me again. And then they call back and they're like, can we do the deal? Yeah, sure, why not?
And then they're like, oh, what number did I call? Well, it's the same number he called me from. It's the same number he called me from. So like having that ability to be evergreen, it's a blessing and a curse. But if you can monetize it and stay ahead of it, you can monetize that thing forever. So like me and Anthony we've been on YouTube for a year and a half, and like I said, we've been creating content and a lot of content for the podcast. So now it's reaping benefits that it's not going to stop. It's only going to get more and more and more and more and more. So if you're really trying to create an online presence, produce content, release it, and wait. Time's on your side.
Plant the seeds and let it grow.
Plant the seeds and let it go. And I'll finish the episode right here because I think we're done driving. But I went to an event in February in Jacksonville, and the speaker was trying to show how high and mighty his branding was from the stage, and he's like, "Who here has the best? Who thinks your marketing is 50% better than others?" And half people stood up. Who thinks your marketing's 70% better than others? And like everybody sat down. Who thinks your marketing's 80% others? So he got up to like 90%, and there was like 4 or 5 people standing, and I was standing, and he wanted to like make an example of me. I can tell. So he's like, "Hey, why do you think your branding is better than others? Like, what's the difference between you and everybody else?" And I'm like, "The only difference you have against mine is time."
I don't know if anybody caught that, but it's like the seed has already been planted. The seed of greatness has already been planted. There's no other edits that we need to make to that seed.
And I'm continuing to plant more and more and more and more. So that time is on my side.
This is what makes us feel like, and I wish this did not sound like it comes from a place of arrogance, but this is what makes us love the hive mind more than anything, is that the seed has already been planted. There's no more edits that I have to make, and that's not coming from a place of arrogance. It's coming from a place of like very like practical timeline, factual event. And if you follow and you emulate what the hive mind teaches, it's like we're not playing to be one of the best competitors in the marketplace. The strategies that we're using are dominant strategies that will completely like take over and disrupt industries, disrupt marketplaces. And then, like I said, if you take that personally and you take that like, hey, these guys think, they're coming from a place of pure arrogance, then it's only going to hurt you. But if you apply it blindly and you say, hey, I'm just going to just do whatever the instructions say, you eventually will build a very, very, very big house. You will build a skyscraper. So
I have one more thing, because I actually enjoy podcasting now. So I had a guest come on the podcast, and he's like, I asked him like, why do you do podcasts? And he's like, I want to be the brand authority in my one city. I'm like, all right, I can help you with that. So we did the podcast, and I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but he's out of New Orleans. So I'm like, New Orleans house buyer, and his name, and that's the name of the episode, because I understood and I appreciate. And I appreciate the exchange of value that he provided to my podcast. So I'm going to exchange and reciprocate it back to him, that I hope he gets deals for the next 10 years. Because that's priceless.
Guys, if you don't like our real estate strategy, if you hate land, if you hate the hive mind, if you hate me and Daniel, if you hate Mexicans, please pay attention to what's happening with the marketing. We follow a couple of entrepreneurs that are like now in like the billions and the multi-billion-dollar strategies, and they give tips. And I feel like there's nothing. We have not excluded anything from their teachings, and we didn't even learn it from them. It's already been happening. Please try these strategies, and something crazy will happen in your business.
And the funny thing about that is, like, we're learning the strategies, and like, we've been doing that for like 6 months.
That too.
We've been doing that for like a year.
That too.
Okay, this solidifies that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. So if you hate everything else about our business model and you only apply one thing, please apply the marketing strategies, or try to like see and feel what they might be like, what the marketing strategies are, and it will change your business. It's going to change your life. I promise.
There you go.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please check us out on milliondollarmastermind.com. Check us out on Wholesaling $1 Million Land Deals on Facebook. We'd love to see you guys. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, every other channel out there. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.